Before going to start today's session, I just want to give a small recap what we have completed at the last session. Okay. So what actually we have seen is we understood about an application, right? What is an application? What is an application in Pega? Basically, I discussed those three layers like presentation layer, business layer, and your persistence layer. These are the three layers, right? Any application you take, these three layers you see in any application. And how presentation layer is implemented, how business layer is implemented, how persistence layer is implemented. So what technologies that you need to know? I mean, if you are a traditional programmer, what technologies that you need to know, right? Yeah, coming to presentation layer, to implement presentation layer, you need to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, React. These technologies you should know, right, to develop the presentation layer. Now coming to business layer, to develop the business layer, if you are a Java developer, you should know what Java technology. If you are a .NET developer, you need to know .NET technology, right? Now coming to persistence layer, yeah, if you are connecting with a database, okay, you need to know the database language as well, right, which is SQL. Okay, so these are the technologies that you need to know to develop an application. Okay, if you are a traditional programmer, but we are not a traditional programmer, right? So we are going to make use of low code platform or no code platform. So in that case, you need not to know all these technologies to develop an application, right? Okay. So this is what we have understood in the last class. So today, we will be going to understand the application creation part. Okay, we haven't seen the application creation part. So we will focus on the application creation today. Okay. See, in order to create an application in Pega, we need to know what are the different structures of application that we have in Pega. There are two types of structures we have in Pega. Okay, so what are the different application structures? What are the different application structures that we have in Pega? What are the different application structures in the sense? Yeah, that's what we are going to discuss now. Yeah, the first one, which is your framework application structure. Okay, and the second one, which is your implementation application structure. Implementation application structure. These all things are basics. So whatever we are discussing, they are all basics. Okay. Yeah. So we will be having initially some theoretical sessions. So once we are done with the theoretical sessions, we will be going with your practicals. Okay. Yeah. So what are the different application structures that we have in Pega? Framework application structure, implementation application structure. So what is this framework? What is this implementation? So what is the structure exactly? Okay, so we will understand this. So before going to understand application structure, okay, so basically you are going to create an application for an organization, right? To whom you are going to create an application? For an organization. So you first need to look at the organization structure. You need to understand what is your organization structure. I mean, to whichever the organization you are developing an application, that organization structure you should know. So when I talk about organization structure, okay, so when we talk about organization structure, so what do you mean by this organization structure? So basically, the organization structure has how many levels or how many layers? Okay. When I talk about organization structure has how many levels in the sense, or how many layers in the sense? There are three levels or three layers. Okay, there are three layers, in an organization structure. Okay, so what are those three layers? Yeah, the first layer is which is your org layer. The second layer which is your div layer. The third layer which is your unit layer. So these are the three layers that you have in an organization structure. Okay, these are the three layers that you have. Okay, so let us try to understand this organization structure practically. With an example. Let us try to understand this organization structure with an example. Let's say you are developing an application for an organization called Amazon. Okay, let's say you are developing an application. So Amazon has come up with a requirement. Amazon has come up with a requirement. So they want to automate one of their business process. Okay, Amazon is having a lot of business processes, right? Amazon organization is having a lot of business processes. They want to automate one of the business process. Let's say Amazon is having sales, services, marketing, right? These are the areas that they work on actually. Okay, so let's say they want to automate their sales process or their service process or their marketing process. Okay, so here Amazon is the organization, which is your organization layer, org layer. Now this Amazon is also having divisions, right? It has divisions. See here, division can be what? Either it could be a department or it could be uh, a geographic location. Okay, a division layer can be either a department or a geographic location. Let's say Amazon, it's there in India, US, Australia, or UK. So Amazon is there in India, US, let's say UK, right? So India, US, UK, what are all these? These are nothing but geographic locations, right? Oh. Daddy. Yeah. So Amazon, it is there in different regions. Okay. It is there in different regions. So these regions are what? Nothing but geographic locations, right? A division layer can be what? Either a department or it could be what? Geographic location. Okay. Yeah. See, an organization can have multiple divisions. Right? It's not only one division. It can have many divisions. I took here three divisions. Right? You can have many divisions. Now, each division can have multiple units, right? Each division can have multiple units. So let's say, for example, India division has three units, okay, which is sales unit, let's say, services unit, okay, services unit, and let's say marketing unit. So these are the three units that you have, right? Hmm. So a division, under division, what you could see? Units. Sales is a unit, service is a unit, marketing is a unit, right? Yeah. So these are the three layers, three levels that you have in an organization structure, right? Org layer, div layer, and unit layer. Okay. Hmm. This is your org layer, This is your div layer, and this is your unit layer, right? Okay, so why we are understanding this organization over here, why we are understanding this organization structure means because we are developing an application to an organization, right? I mean, when I say when we are developing an application to an organization, that means we are trying to automate the business process of an organization. Okay, the organization might be having many business processes, right? Let's say they have sales as one of the business process, service as one of the business process, marketing as one of the business process, right? So they want to automate. Let's say Amazon wants to automate sales business process or service business process. Then obviously to automate the business process, we have to go and develop an application, right? Yeah. So that application we are developing for an organization to one of the unit. Okay. So if it is a sales unit, we will be going to automate the business process of sales unit, right? Okay. So hope I think it's clear for everyone why we are trying to understand the organization structure before your application structure. Okay. So then now let us come to your application structure, back to your application structure. So there are two structures, as I said, right? Framework and implementation. So what is this framework over here? Framework means um, it is a ready-made application. Okay, a framework in the sense it's a ready-made application. I mean the solution is already provided. Okay, so you can go and make use of the framework application, a ready-made application, which Pega has implemented. It's a kind of generalized application. Framework application is nothing but what? A generalized application. Generalized application. Implementation means a specialized one, a specialized application. Okay. So one is generalized, one is specialized. Either you can say parent application, specialized as nothing but your child application. Okay. Child application. Right. So again, this framework got divided into two categories. One is your solution framework, okay, and the other one is your application framework. Okay, so when I say solution framework means which is a ready-made application. Who has implemented this solution framework? Pega has implemented. It's a ready-made. You can directly purchase from Pega and you can use it for your organization. Okay. Application framework is not like that. I mean, this is ready-made, and this you have to build it from the scratch. Okay. For your organization, you have to build it from the scratch. Let's say Amazon does not have any. I mean, for this Amazon organization, we want to build an application framework. Okay, from the scratch, we want to go and build the sales application. From the scratch, we want to go and build the services application. From the scratch, we want to go and develop the marketing application. Right? If it is from the scratch, you have to go with application framework. Okay. No, we want to use an existing solution framework. Then you can go ahead with this. But solution framework, will it go and suit all the requirements that this Amazon organization has? It may not suit all. Solution framework, what Pega has implemented, for sales or for services or for marketing. Okay, so the solution framework, whatever the Pega has implemented, may not suit for this Amazon organization completely. Okay, let's say 80% it is uh, it is going and fulfilling all the requirements of sales application. 80%, but 20% it is not fulfilling. Then what will you be going to do with that solution framework? So you need to do some changes, modifications. Okay, because it's not fitting for all the needs of my organization. So it's a generalized application, right? It may not suit for every organization, right? For all their requirements, for all their needs. Then obviously you need to go and customize this solution framework, right? You have to go and customize it according to the organization need. Okay. So when I say customization means again, so will you do that customization within the solution framework means you will not. If you do, what will be the problem? Okay. So that will affect all the other organizations, right? Because the solution framework might have purchased the other organization. If you're doing changes within the same solution framework, whoever has purchased this framework will be affected, right? So you should not make changes within this solution frame. So the changes you should, I mean, you need to build on top of the solution framework and implementation application. I mean, you need to inherit this application. Okay, as I said, this is a parent application, right? And when you want to do any changes in the parent application, you should not do the changes in the parent. You should create a child application on top of the parent application. And that child application is known as what? An implementation application over here. Okay. Now, why we are creating an implementation? Because we want to do some changes. We want to do some customizations. Okay. For Amazon organization, then where you will do it? Okay? In the child application or the implementation application. Right? Now you understood what is the need of these two application structures by framework and by implementation. Are we clear on this? Or do you have any questions? Any questions? No questions, right? So basically, this is how the stack looks like. See, Pega platform, you are going to develop your application on top of what? On top of Pega platform. So let's assume this as your Pega platform. This is the base application. Pega platform is what? Is a base application. Okay. Pega platform as a base application, you can say, or a default application, you can say. This application already has been implemented by Pega. Okay. Yeah, Pega platform itself is nothing but an application over here. Okay. Pega platform itself is nothing but an application over here. Now, on top of this platform, you are going to develop your applications, right? Now, while developing your application, you will check whether that application is already implemented by Pega or not. Let's say Amazon needs an application for sales business process. Now, already Pega has implemented an application for sales business process or not, you will be going to check. If already the solution is available, you go with solution framework. Okay. And that solution framework also will be built on top of what? Pega platform itself. Let us say this is the framework, a solution framework, which is already built on top of your Pega platform. Okay. So this is a solution framework, which is built on top of Pega platform. So either you will check whether the solution is already available or not. If the solution is already available, you go with the solution framework itself. Right? Now, if the solution is not available, then what you will do, you'll go and build from the scratch. Okay, which is nothing but application framework. right? Which is nothing but your application framework. So there are two application structures, as I said, no? Solution framework or an application framework. Okay, if the solution is already available, let us go ahead with the solution. No, if the solution is not available for your business process, you have to go and build it from the scratch. That is nothing but your application framework. Okay, so let's assume in this case the solution is already available, but that solution is not going to help us 100%. Only 80% it is going and fulfilling my needs or my organization needs. Then 80% is available. 20% you have to go and do customizations or modifications according to the organization need. Then what you have to do? Will you go and do changes in the solution framework? No, you should not. If you make changes, then that change will be also going to affect other organization if they are using the same solution framework. Right? So you should not make changes within the same solution framework. So what you have to do it, you have to go and build another application on top of that solution framework. So we are going to call this application as what? An implementation application. What we are going and calling them as? No, what we are going and calling it as implementation. Implementation application. Okay. So you are developing an implementation application on top of solution framework or on top of application framework. Okay. So now you understood what is the need of an implementation application. So why you are building implementation application on top of solution framework? Because you want to do some changes over here or some modifications, but you are not going to do those changes over here. You are going to build another application called implementation application. Okay, to do those changes or to do those modifications. Okay. So basically this is your generalized application, as I said, or a parent application. This is a child application. Okay. The child inherits from their parent application. Inheritance topic. In the last session, I discussed about inheritance, right? Reusability. Are we reusing this application or not? Solution frame? We are reusing it, right? We are using or we are extending it, right? Yeah. So now is this is clear for everyone regarding the application structure? Any questions you have? So these are all basic things. Before going to create an application, we should know these things. Anyhow, practically also I'll be going to explain you these things. Okay, I'll show you the application structure and I'll show you the organization structure. These are all things I'll be going to show you while developing the application. Okay, yeah. So now we got to know both the structures, right? We got to know both the structures. Organization structure we got to know, and your application structure also we got to know. So now let's see. Now I'm going to create an application. Okay. Now let's go and jump into the application creation. Okay. So for that, I will be making use of one of the cloud instance. Okay. I just logged into my Pega account. Okay. So after logging into my Pega account, let me just show it from the beginning. Let me click on login here. So first you need to, I think you all have created your accounts, right? Have you all created your accounts? If you have created your accounts, you can log in into your account. So I have logged into my account. So once after logging into your account, you just need to, yeah, let me click on Academy here. Okay, you can find something called System Architect. Just scroll down, you could see something called low code app builder, right? So let us open this. It's a mission actually. So as I said, I'm going to use the cloud instance, right? Any of the cloud instance. You see here, these challenges are having in the background the cloud instances. So I'm just clicking on this challenge here. Okay. Now let me invoke this instance. See, let me invoke this instance. So we are going to see today how to create an application. Okay. So before going to create an application, yes, you should know what are the different application structures that we have in Pega. There are two application structures, framework and implementation. Why two application structures? Now you should have that idea. Okay. And not only the application structure, along with the application structure, you should know the organization structure. The organization structure has how many layers? Three layers. Org layer, div layer, and unit layer. Right? Okay. Now, how you are going to build your applications? You are going to build your applications on top of Pega platform. So Pega platform itself is nothing but an application, right? Now, on top of Pega platform, you are going to build your application. Whether it could be a application framework or a solution framework, they have built on top of Pega platform itself, right? Okay. So now my instance is ready. You can launch your Pega instance for this challenge. Okay. So what are the credentials that I have to use? See, this challenge is also providing us credentials here, right? Let us use these credentials. Author@mytown. And the pencil is Pega 123 exclamatory. Okay. So now it's logging into it. So I have logged into one of the application. What's that application you see here? MyTown 311. So we want to go and develop a new application. Okay. So we want to develop a new application, a brand new application. So let's not worry about what are these options available right now. Okay, we will be going to look at each and every option slowly, right? So when it comes to the usage, then I'll explain each and every option here. Okay, yeah. So we call this as header area. Basically, it has divided into 4 areas. Okay, right now on the screen you are able to see 4 areas. This we call it as header area, and this we call it as explorer area or the navigation panel, and this we call it as work area or workspace. Okay, work area we call it as, and there is one more area called toolbar, developer toolbar. We call it as developer toolbar. Okay, so basically 4 areas that you have, right? So now let me click on this. In the header area, you see we have something called application menu. We call this as what? Application menu. let us click on the application menu. When you click on the application menu, you see we have an option called new application, right? Okay, so let us go and click on this new application option here. Okay, we want to go and create a new application, but not we want to use the existing application. Let's go and see how to create a new application. Click on new application. And what is the version also you could see here. And you just go back. I'm just going to back. What is the current version? Pega Infinity is also known as Pega platform. Okay, and this is the base application. Right? So what is the version? Current version of your Pega platform? You could see the application layers over here, right? So let's not worry about the application layers right now. I'll explain now. Application layers in the sense the one which I have shown you, right? So these are nothing but your application layers here. Okay. Yeah. So let us go and see how to create an application. New application. Let's click on this new application option. So it's asking that what type of application that you want to build. So I want to build it from the scratch. Okay. So what we want to do, what we want to go for? We want to go for from the scratch. Create a Pega intelligent automation application from scratch. Let's select this option. Now, when I selected option, choose your UI architecture it is asking for. There are two UI architectures that we had. One is traditional UI architecture and the other one is your constellation. So there are two architectures that are available. So what are these two? So these are nothing but UI applications. Okay. So what is this traditional UI and what is this constellation means? These are nothing but again applications. Strictly speaking, yeah, this is how it looks like. As I said, the base layer is nothing but your Pega platform, right? The base is your Pega platform. Now on top of Pega platform, you have your UI application. Okay, UI. So there are two UI architectures that we had. One is your constellation. Constellation is also nothing but a UI application or traditional UI application, right? Traditional UI application. So these are the UI applications which are built on top of Pega platform itself. Okay. So what is the use of these UI applications over here? Let me explain you what is the need of this UI application. Basically, Pega wants to reduce the effort of a developer. Okay, reduce the effort of a developer. You know, right? Application has how many layers? 3 layers, right? Which is your presentation layer, business layer, right, and your persistence layer. So let's say, see here, Pega does not want you to be expert on presentation layer. So what Pega is doing, what Pega is doing, it is allowing you to focus on the business layer. Okay, rather than focusing more on presentation layer, Pega is reducing the effort of a developer. How it is reducing the effort of a developer means Pega is identifying. I mean, Pega has identified or Pega has developed the UI patterns. Okay, the reusable UI patterns, and they have or the reusable UI components. So for presentation layer, you need to go and develop all the UI components, right? Yes, sir. As a Pega developer, you have to go and develop all your UI components. UI components you have to develop. So now what Pega did actually, they have already developed the UI components and they have placed those UI components into this application called traditional UI application or constellation. So they have created all the reusable UI components. Okay, what all the UI components are required in order to develop your presentation layer, they have created already, and they have placed those UI components into the one of the UI application. Okay, into this UI applications they have placed it. So now you need not to focus much on the presentation layer, right? You need not to worry much on the presentation layer, right? You need to focus more on which layer? On the business layer. Okay. Now we can say that Pega is offloading the work of a Pega developer, right? They are offloading the work. So how they are offloading the work? Means they were going and creating all the reusable components, UI components or reusable UI patterns, right? Or reusable UI patterns, you can say. UI patterns. They have they have developed all these things and they have placed where exactly in the UI application, right? So now they are saying that you need not to worry about the presentation. I mean, you need not to worry about those UI components and those UI patterns. Okay, you focus more on what? Like I saying that you focus more on the business part. Okay, business is important for us, right? Yeah. So that's the reason when you are trying to develop an application, a new application, so you are going to choose one of the UI application. So this constellation is the a new architecture, new UI architecture. Uh, this is not new to us. This is, I mean, the traditional one. This is the new UI architecture. So we have a lot of differences between these two. This is completely for no-code developers. Okay, so this is completely for no-code developers or citizen developers, we can say. Okay, who do not have any programming background, who do not have any technical skills. Okay, and we can go with this constellation. Okay, we can go with this constellation. So this is easy to use, high performing work experiences, and built on Pega latest view-based UI architecture. See, Constellation is based on view-based architecture. Traditional UI is based on section-based architecture. Let's not worry about what is this view-based, section-based. Okay, so let's not worry. This is completely for whom? For no-code developers. Okay. So let us try to make use of constellation instead of going with traditional UI. Okay, even you can select traditional UI also. Okay, yeah. So let us go ahead with this constellation. Okay, I'm going to select constellation now. Let me click on select constellation. Okay, so I've selected constellation. That means even your constellation application is also built on top of what? Pega platform. That's it. Okay, now let me name my application. Let me give some name to my application. So let's say, for example, I'm going to give the name for my application as let's say LMS. Okay, so I'm going to give my application name as LMS. LMS stands for leave management system, let's say. Okay, I'm just giving the application name as LMS. Right. Now, let's not click on this create application button. Let us click on the advanced configuration option. Now, when I click on advanced configuration, where you see application settings, right? Application structure. So I'm talking about this application structure previously. So there are two application structures, as I said, right? Framework and implementation. And you see this application structure under application settings. Right? Similarly, you see something called organization structure. Organization structure has what? Organization name, division, and unit, right? So these are the two things that you see: application settings, organization settings. Okay. So I want to go with what? Let's say, for example, this application, I want to create it as a framework. Okay, what kind of framework? So I'm going with something called application framework, which I want to build it from the scratch. Okay, let's say this LMS is not readily available for us. If it is readily available, then we can just use it, but it's not really readily available for us. So we have to build it from the scratch. So in that case, so I'm going with what? An application framework. Okay, yeah. And that application has application ID. Every application, how you go and uniquely identify it. So you go and uniquely identify by means of an identifier. So this is nothing but an application identifier over here. And the application basically has what? A version. This is the initial version of your application. Okay, 01.01.0. So this is the major version, this is the minor version, and this is the patch version here. So this is the version of my application, initial version of my application. Okay, right. And now I've selected the application structure as framework, and this is my application ID, and this is my application version. Okay, the base language of my application is English. Okay, you have different other languages also, right? So your application you want to have in other different languages also. I mean, you can select one of the language, right? So I'm going with English itself. Okay. So coming to the organization settings, you need to provide your application, I mean, your organization name. So for whichever organization you're developing the application, that organization name you have to specify. Let's say the organization is ABC, I'm saying. ABC is the organization. Okay. And the division and the unit. So coming to division, so let's say a division right now, I want to make the division as division itself, division, and unit as unit itself. Okay, unit as unit itself, right? See, as I said, an organization can have many divisions and many, I mean, one division can have many units, but do I have an option to go and add multiple divisions here? Means I do not have an option, but once after creating your application, you can go and add multiple divisions, and for each division, you can go and add multiple units. That is possible. Okay, but through this application wizard, okay, I can add only one division. For the division, only one unit I can specify, right? Okay, so see, the division, let's say, as I said, the division can be what? Either it could be a department name or a geographic location, right? Let's say, for example, the division as India, I'm specific. The unit as what? Let's say, unit as HR, okay? The unit as HR, I'm saying. Organization name is ABC and division as India and unit as what? HR unit, right? Okay, now that's fine. Now coming to what is this class structure here? So basically, in Pega, every application has a class structure, and how this class structure is framed, I mean, how it is getting formed. It is getting formed based on these two settings, application settings and organization settings. You see, the class structure has what? The name of the organization, Whatever the organization name we have specified, it has that. And what is this FW here? FW represents the framework. So what is my application structure framework? So the class structure is based on your application structure and your organization structure, right? And what is my application name? LMS, right? And what is this class group here? Let us not worry about this class group right now. Okay, let's leave this as is. So basically the class structure, as I said, every application in Pega has what? A class structure. Okay, every application in Pega, has a class structure. So, and that class structure is based on what? Class structure is based on, it's based on completely on application structure and plus your organization structure. Okay, it's based on both of those structures. And how my class structure looks like. I mean, what is the application structure that I have selected? Framework, right? Application structure is nothing but your framework. And the organization structure, what are the organization? What is your organization structure? ABC is my organization name, right? And what is the division layer? I have selected India. What is the unit layer? I have specified HR, right? Okay. Now, how the class structure looks like? The class structure looks like this, right? So ABC hyphen FW hyphen, what is the name of your application? LMS hyphen work. So this is the class structure of my application, right? Yeah. So as you see, right, ABC hyphen FW hyphen LMS hyphen work. Okay, this is the class structure. So let's not worry what is this class structure exactly. Okay, we will discuss about class structure in detail. So we call this class structure as enterprise class structure. What we call it as enterprise class structure. In short, we call it as ECS. What we call it as ECS, enterprise class structure. ECS. Okay. So every application in Pega has a class structure. Enterprise class structure, we call it as what? Enterprise class structure. Okay. And what is the class structure over here for our application? ABC hyphen FW hyphen LMS hyphen work. So we are clear with this application class structure, right? I mean, how clear in the sense how this class structure is getting formed based on these two settings. Okay, let us click on save now. Let us click on save and click on create application. That's it. With that, it's going to create an application. So in the background, what is happening? It's going and creating your class structure. It's creating your class structure. And what is my application name? LMS. So see here, it says that congratulations, LMS has been configured and is now ready to use. Now to use this application, we need to add a user, right? Yes or no? We need to go and add a user. Okay. So let us add a user to access this application. Which application? LMS application. Previously, to access this MyTown application, I was using author@mytown as a user, right? I was logging with this user credentials. Similarly, to access my LMS application also, I need to create a user. I mean, it's nothing but an optional kind of thing. You can use the same user ID and password to access the same application. I mean, to access this LMS application. Or if you want to add a new user, you can add a user and you can give access to this application to that user. Okay. Let's say, for example, I'm creating a new user, author @LMS, let's say. Okay. So this is the new user I'm creating. And what is this author here? This is nothing but a role of this user. Author is nothing but a role of this user. Let's click on add. So what happens now? It will create a new user with the ID called author@LMS, and this is the default password which has generated. So let us copy this default password. Copy it. We have to go and change this password, right? So that is the reason we are copying it. And let's click on yeah. Let me click on go to app now. Let's click on go to app. So we are done with the application creation. Not only application creation, as well we have created an operator, a user. Operator in the sense here nothing but a user we have created. Okay. So see here, if you look at now in the application menu, what you see? LMS as the application, right? Okay. But see, this is a previous application we had, and this is the new application which we have created. Okay. So we are done with application creation. Now, if you look at your application layers, I'll show you the application layers, how this application has built on, right? But before that, we want to log into this LMS application by the operator, by the user, whatever we have created, and the password, whatever we have got right. Yeah, with that, with those credentials, we have to log into this application. Right now, I'm using those same credentials. I'm using the same credentials actually, right? And you can see this application, whatever the application we have created. For that application, you could see the URL. This is the URL to access your application. Okay, as you know, the Pega applications are web-based, right? So this is the URL got generated for your application. And what is the version of Pega we are using? Well, this is the Pega platform version we are using, right? 8.8, the current version we are using. Okay, so that's fine. Now let us just click on log off. We want to log off. I'm just trying to log off. Now we want to log in into which application? The LMS application, but this is my town application. Now let me remove this URL from here. Okay. Let me just click on enter now. Okay. Now you need to provide your credentials. Which credentials? Author @mytown, not mytown, LMS, right? And the password what we have copied, let us paste it here. I'm just pasting it here. And click on login now. So whenever we try to click on login, see, it is changing. It is taking me to the change password screen, right? What is the current password? The one which we have copied it. What is the new password? Let me give the new password as what? Rules. Rules I'm giving, confirm password. Let us click on change password so that your password will be updated, modified. Okay. So I'm done with my password updation. Now we have logged into which application? LMS application. Now you see the URL here. What is that URL you're having? App LMS, right? Now you see the application layers over here. Your application is built on, I mean, your LMS application is built on top of what? Cosmos React, nothing but Constellation. So this Cosmos React Constellation is nothing but your Constellation. We have built our application on top of Constellation. This Constellation is nothing but a React application. It's a React application, Cosmos React application. Okay. This traditional UI is nothing but a theme Cosmos UI application. You need not to worry right now what is this Cosmos React and theme Cosmos over here. Okay. Got it right. So we have built our application on top of what? This constellation. Okay? Nothing but your Cosmos React itself. So ultimately, what is that application we have built? LMS. LMS is the application which we have built on top of. Right? Yeah. So on top of this, you could see, right, the layers. LMS is built on top of Cosmos React. Cosmos React is built on top of Pega platform. Right? Are we clear on this? How to go and create an application? So today we are done with the application creation part. Yeah, 1 second before going to, I'm done with the application creation. Yeah. See, I think you have not enrolled for this course, right? So from tomorrow onwards, this link is going to be changed. Okay. So, but before that, you please enroll for this course. Okay. The same link is not going to be used from tomorrow onwards. Yeah, a new link will be shared with you all. Please go and enroll for this course. If once you are enrolled, you'll be getting the new link. Okay. Hope I think you have all enrolled this for this course, right? If not, make sure to enroll for this course for the upcoming sessions. Okay. So thank you for all. I hope you understood the application creation part. If you have any questions related to the application creation, you can ask. Okay. Do you have any questions regarding the application creation? We can wind up the session today and let us meet in the tomorrow session.